Hi, hello, and welcome back to another very exciting episode of the Nincompoops podcast. I'm here with the boys. How you doing, boys?
I'm doing
Howdy.
well.
Howdy. It's been another week now. We've actually gone kind of consistent now, and we didn't skip this week this time. Two in a row. That's something to be proud of, right?
No.
No, no, you're kind of right though. It's kind of sad, but look. All right, you gotta take your wins where you can get them. It's been a hot minute. I don't know what about you boys, but this is a long week for me. It's rarely,
Oh
rarely
yeah.
getting, rarely getting any rest time. Barely time to myself. It's been long, so I don't know what you guys have been up to, but this is hard time for me.
Oh well.
Just monkeying around.
Monkeying around.
Yep,
In what way? What way, friends? Explain to me.
just doing nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing is like monkeying around.
No,
I
I
don't
just
know
went
about
back
that.
to the boxing game for the VR thing.
Oh, the VR thing. Ah, yes. How is that, by the way? It's like getting stagger. You said that's like your daily workout, right?
It used to be, and then I got tired because it was so painful. When you don't beat him by knockout, it's so painful. It
Mm.
hurts me. It hurts my pride as a VR boxer.
Try that important. I get that. I get that. I mean, at the end of the day, what's more important than getting that workout, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Like I don't know how many times I played. I think I played it like twice. I think. Yeah, I played it twice. It's like surprisingly, deceptively like very exhausting to play that game.
mm,
It's just like, especially if you put on endurance, it goes on a while.
yeah.
hmm it's gonna be a while until we hang out again. I reckon. I just get that feeling, that vibe. So how about you, Jim? What have you been up to besides sipping your water?
Well, I've been sipping my water every day,
hmm Every
eating
day?
food. Water's
Oh
good.
shit! Oh shit! Drink
Water's really
water and
important.
food every day.
Water's really important. I try to drink it every day, and I just been cruising.
Mmm.
Mmm, delicious. Water's delicious.
Water is.
No, I've been up to the usual. Still looking for a full-time job.
Mhm.
Although a part of me is kind of picky because I don't want to just take any full time job because I'm
I
trying to
get
find
that. I
one.
was I was the same too when I was like job searching like not too
Yeah,
long ago.
like it is. I'm in a kind of a privileged position because I don't have to like get one right away. So
hmm
I get to be a little bit more picky with why I choose because I
Yeah.
want to pick something that pays me like minimum wage, which is like $5 less than what I make right now on my part time job. I
Hmm.
want to make something that's
hmm
around like the same thing and also
The
one
same
that's not
rate.
like
Yeah.
yeah, and one that's where I can get a good idea um of when I work because I don't want to work my current shift, which is like from 4 to midnight. You know, I just want to work from mornings to evenings just so I can have like the rest of the
Ah,
day.
got
You
you.
know,
I get that. Yeah.
yeah, that's something that's a little harder to pick because everyone wants to do that. You know, and the easier positions to get are the swing and graveyard positions, but I want to do those. So
Mm.
yeah, a little picky with that. And also, a lot of things, unfortunately, have like dumb qualifications. Like one of the things that Jeffrey sent me it
Yeah.
was like yeah, you need to have like manufacturing experience, and I'm just like
I
I
have
don't have any.
manufacturing experience.
Technically, yes.
The only things I manufactured is like crafts and like crafts
Yeah,
class in high
that
school,
counts.
and I was terrible at that too. So I just don't
Nah.
know if that's for me,
They just wanted your experience, and you have it.
We
Yeah,
want like 12 years of work experience and like a master's degree, but like, you're only like this old at the age of like 18 or something like
yeah,
that. That old meme. 20 years of experience, 18 years only.
yeah, and being an academic, of some sorts, since I have a bachelor's degree, that doesn't help me with the manufacturing stuff. So um, yeah, just kind of tough finding something. So I'm being a little picky with what I with the options I have. So
If I maybe if I'm able to ask, can I ask like how much is like sitting in the bank right now? Just like give me like a ballpark. I don't want like an exact number, you know.
I don't have a lot to be honest.
All right,
It's
that
gotten pretty
works.
bad. It's gotten pretty bad in the last few months because my mom started to make me pay for everything.
Mm,
I've already paid for the internet bill and everything, but now she's. But then ever since we got the cats, I've been paying for everything for them, like food, litter box, all
oof,
that stuff,
oof.
vet visits too. Um, she started making me help pay for some of her some of the things that she wants to,
Hmm.
and yeah, I don't know, like it's just one of those things where I'm just waiting for every paycheck to come in now, where um I can't just like whimsily spend money on
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Hmm.
can
Yeah,
attest to the vet visits. It's like
and
oh
I have two, so
yeah.
it doubles up. Yeah, it doubles
I
for
have
everything.
one. It's already like god damn. No,
Oof.
we can't get you sick or anything.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh,
is it are like that's like really expensive? Because I don't own any pets, so I wouldn't know.
I had well, I think it was in November when I got my pets their first shots. It was like for like rabies and other shit.
You
Yep.
have
And I think
insurance, right? For them?
no, it was like a package thing where like
Ah, yeah, okay, the
I can bring
package.
them in for other stuff I need them to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was like 250 for each of them, so I think I paid like 500,
Yeah,
I think, for both.
it's
Yeah, yeah. And then I think I had to spend like $70 for getting my taxes done because I had someone to do it for me,
Mm.
recently. And then there's paying you for the rides and everything. It all adds up to a lot. So yeah, kind of a rough bottom in.
Yeah, that's wild. It's kind of like we kind of like switched positions in terms of
Yeah.
like finances and all that.
That's why I could only apply to like three schools, instead of like four, which
Hmm.
wasn't much of a difference. But I had to shave off one school because I couldn't afford paying for more, and I
Hmm.
don't really get help financially because I help my mom and my grandparents sometimes, and I help when my friends pay rent one time. It's just
Oof. Yeah, rent's
yeah,
expensive, especially in where we live.
yeah.
It's like stupid expensive
hmm
for like not that much.
You ever
Hmm.
see those
Hmm.
memes?
Which ones?
It's like they'll show you like a hut and it's like it's 1.3 million, get it cheap. It's in
Low, low,
California.
low key though. Low key though. Those are memes and they're jokes, but at the same time,
They're
those are
very
actually
true.
real.
I was
It's
like,
very
oh
true.
man.
I remember hearing like stories about like people like rich ass like people just like buying off like a like decrepit old properties that are like burnt down, just like filled with like feces and all that for like millions of dollars, just so they can like renovate it and all that. And so like when you see stories like that, you're like, how does the little guy even like pay for housing anymore? Like it's
Yeah.
impossible.
yeah.
Mhm. Like
Um,
I see stuff where like people say like yeah this like house was like built in like 2010 or something and it's like I think it used to cost to buy or like to rent or something or no to buy was like 185K or like yeah 185K and now it's like got sold recently for like almost a million. Stuff like
mm,
that's wild.
yeah, just living is expensive.
That's
What
why
if
in
we
the
just
future
stop?
everyone's gonna live inside a cardboard box.
A cardboard
Hey,
box.
Yeah.
yeah,
Even that sounds
that'll be the
fancy.
plan. They'll call it high density cardboard housing.
Yeah.
They'll
Oh
they'll
no.
have 100, they'll have 10 by 10 of cardboard boxes for people to live in.
No.
It's 10 by 10.
The current homeless people
Yeah.
already got like a head start on that,
I
so
know
they already know the
they're
ropes.
very lucky.
They know. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. No, but they have a head start on like which box is the best, which quality
they're already thinking about
material.
the future where everyone lives outside houses instead of inside.
Mm,
It's painful
man,
out here.
it sucks because like it makes me like think about like remember like back in like well obviously we weren't born yet, but like, those old cartoons. I forgot what like the Jetsons or something similar way back when we thought about the future about like flying cars and robots and stuff. It's like it's very hopeful view of the future, and that technology will take care of a bunch of our worries and problems, and we'll be able to live our
Mhm.
lives. And then over time, like just movies and like media just changed over to like a more dystopian hellscape, and just
Yeah,
like just like this is it went from like more optimistic to like we're kind of fucked.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like Blade Runner, for example. That was like a good example.
yeah. I, from what I've noticed, there's been a lot more like dystopian shit,
Yeah,
like future stuff, like
yeah.
in the last few years. Whether it's about technology, about how the world is. Like whenever
Mm.
you see like, oh, this is advanced AI. This advanced AI can take care of so many things for you, make your life so easy. It's never like, and that's all there is to it. It's always these robots secretly want to kill you, or yep, there's all this technology, but then you have to spend so much time watching ads. Oh, the only the wealthy get to really enjoy
They're
the AI,
taking
and
everyone's jobs
Yep.
and all that.
yeah,
Yep.
it's never anything like, yep, the AI, it makes everything better. The end. It's never that. It's always,
Hmm.
yeah. I think it just
The
comes with
AI
people
is
understanding,
trying to
like
kill you.
people just understanding, like, you know what? Yeah, maybe the way things are right now, maybe AI wouldn't make things better. It just makes it different, but not better.
I mean, even if they would like to make a movie about like a more positive version of like robots and AI doing like things for us humans and making our lives easier, people would be like, "Nah, this ain't realistic. This ain't," and it would get like low
Yeah,
ratings.
yeah,
This is hot garbage because this ain't what's going to
Yeah.
happen. Because everyone
yeah,
views like obviously we're going down the dystopian route. Obviously we're gonna all get fucked and the rich get all the stuff. They all got all the
yeah,
cool mansions and the money, and even like a space station where they probably like go live out their best lives and
Yeah.
leave us peons on Earth.
Calling it Halo
Where
or something.
Halo, Mars, or something like that. They're all just like, you know what? Earth is fucked. Let's just go on a rocket
Let's
ship
just
and just
dip.
leave.
That's why all the billionaires are making space programs so they can leave.
Exactly. Elon Musk, freaking Jeff Bezos, and all that.
Yeah.
All the others.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Like
They're just trying to like pump out that AI upload. Where you upload yourself to a robot, and that
like like some
that,
Skynet or
that's that
something.
that yeah, that's their goal, man.
Mm-hmm. Uh yeah. I mean, I try not to be too doomer, try not to be like too down. I mean, I was like this like I think last week I think I was like discussing this with you, Jim, like how like man everything's fucked. This sucks. For the most part, I try not to like go down that route, but it's so hard sometimes. It's so
Well,
hard not to
I
be.
well with me, I just think people are stupid in general, but a lot of it
Yeah.
is not because it's not their fault. It's just because of the environment they were born in. Like
Mm.
if you're just born and then you think like, hey, the sky is made of pie, and then
Is it?
there's only there's only so much pie in the world, so people dyed it blue to make it invisible, so it can camouflage in the sky. If you were raised like that, then that's just what you believe. Like who is someone else to tell you that you're wrong?
Yeah.
But
Facts and
but
opinion become like very blurred and all that.
yeah, yeah. I'm using a very non-extreme example because people have people have very extreme views that they hold, like very bigoted stuff, for example, and it's just stuff they just raised with. But I think a lot of it comes with them being misguided rather than just them being like you
Their
know.
nature is like actually bad and all that. It's like that's
Yeah, yeah.
not the
and
usual
and
thing.
people are gonna say and have very stupid opinions on things. Like, it's just the best that you can do individually is just try to change your mind, but just know that there are limits to that. People are again stupid, and no matter how many good arguments you make, or how hard you try, just sometimes people just don't change their minds because of their preconceptions.
Sometimes, I mean, that's why like you need to like figure out or differentiate between like people's who are like more open to like changing their minds or like open to like different arguments compared to the people who are like they
Yeah,
just shut down and just refuse to like take in any new information or accept any new information.
yeah.
And
I think at the end of the day, it's just important to understand, like, who it is that's really like making decisions. Like Donald Trump Trump versus a regular like conservative, for example. It's like, oh, you know,
Regular Joe
I
Schmo.
it's a lot harder to blame that regular guy to be like, you're the reason this country's fucked up, rather than the person who was in power for 4 years making decisions. You know, it's better to criticize the person that actually had the power to to you know do bad shit rather than just a regular person. The regular person, you know, you might be able to change your mind, you might not, but just understand that it's always greater than just any individual person.
Yeah, indeed, indeed, indeed.
Yeah, but again, people are stupid. Just don't expect them to suddenly like uh understand how to understand things, which is very unfortunate, but you know, just the way it is.
I mean, what I've learned like from both like following politics a lot, and even like my workplace as well. Like I'm still like considered like one of the new guys, but I'm like I'm getting the hang of it. But like sometimes like arguments happen, sometimes like dumb workplace drama happens, and it always like reinforces the notion or the idea in my head like yeah, adults are just pretty much just, like taller, bigger sized children at the end of the day. It's just like
Mm.
not as smart as what you thought they would be when you're like a kid. All put together, all get together, and all that. You're just like, why? Why is there like a dumbass argument over something like this that easily
Oh
could have
yeah,
been just
like
like avoided?
moving away from political stuff, like fucking relationships, for example. People like, you know, once they get past the honeymoon phase, and you know the first like conflicts start to happen,
Hmm.
people have like no fucking idea how to like deal with each other. The very simple thing that you tell anybody, whether it's just like a romantic relationship or if it's like a friendship, is just like, hey, just communicate with each other if something irks you. Like if Paul, for example, says something that pissed me off, you know,
Hmm.
it's better for me like, hey, Paul, like don't say that shit, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Or
fuck
that
you,
makes me
Paul.
feel that makes me feel like angry or sad or whatever. It's better to
Hmm.
do
Why'd you have to
that than
tell
just
him
like
that? All right, why'd
than
you
just
have
than
to
just
tell
than just hold it in and be
Shut up,
like,
Dean.
him?
Hurt
Paul
my
just
feelings.
it's fucked up shit. Fuck this guy, you
Yeah,
know? Yeah. And with relationship, I see this happen so many times where people like just get mad at each other over this silly shit, and then you never proceed to talk about it until you blow up or the other person blows up, and then it just leads to an argument rather than just like talking it out
Or if
because
they do
it's
talk about it, they do it like in a very like untactful,
unproductive way. Yeah,
unproductive way, and just like very passive aggressive, or just like they say something where that ends up like pissing the other person off, and it just like
yeah,
there's a fight around that instead of like the original like topic and all that.
yeah, and a lot of it is just like just don't like control your emotions, okay? If you're screaming at your friend or at your girlfriend or whatever, then you're fucking up because why do that when you just like even just having a calm tone and saying the same thing would is gonna go a lot farther than just be like, you know what, you don't appreciate me, you know I always do this for you, and what the fuck, all you do is not trust me, you know, like that doesn't.
The person you're yelling is automatically going to shut down and just like
Yeah,
probably refuse to listen. Like if not like out of spite, just like they're like fuck this and all that. Because I know
yeah,
I would do that if it's like not I mean military related stuff. I'm just like if there people are just like yelling at me for like no good reason or just like they're bringing up bad arguments. If it's like if I fuck up royally, I know I fucked up royally, and you don't need to yell at me about it. But I like fine, I'll accept it because it is pretty bad. But if it's like over something dumb, like why are you lying? Why are you yelling? There's no point. And I'm just like, no, fuck this,
yeah.
and just like be less inclined to listen.
Yeah, and again, it's just like just good communication. That's like the one thing you need to have. But people, you know, are just dumb. They just do not understand that, and they just do whatever anyway. You can go to as much therapy as you want. You can get as much advice from your friends as you want. But people still find a way, despite all the help they're getting from all these different sources. They still just are like fuck that and just do what they
Mm-hmm.
want to do anyway, and they fuck it up. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
think what there's one example that happened in our friendship in our group that we can all think of when it comes to that, and
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
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 like
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just yeah, like it's just you being choosing to be stupid rather than um making the intelligent thing, just thinking on it, before instead of just doing. Because a lot of people
Mm.
just do. They just have an impulse and they just do not have control over it. Sucks.
I mean, emotions do play like a large role in how people react or do things, and it
Yeah.
definitely. If we're like everything were in a vacuum and we're just like, all right, let's think this through, let's think intelligently, and like let's not put emotions into it, then
No, no,
obviously things would go a lot more smoothly. But people
yeah,
don't act like that.
I know that emotions are like a big part of people, and it's a part of who I am too. I'm not like a
Mm.
logic lord that only thinks in logic, because people who
Yeah,
think other
yeah.
people are logical or rational are not thinking logically themselves, because people are innately not logical or rational.
Mm.
But the important thing is for people to just work on emotional regulation, because some people just like do not have control over that.
Mm.
I've 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 had people mad at me who just immediately go straight to like cussing, and then it just is like a big sign of not cussing like, oh, just at like cussing it like, oh, fucking whatever, like, but as in like, you fucking bitch, slur,
Yeah.
Or just like like this
that's
throwing
when
out like
it,
insults or ad hominems and all that. You mean?
yeah, it's a big sign of that they can't control like their emotions, and it's something that they probably aren't aware of because they just do it. And I think
But that is
it just takes.
that is like a skill that people usually need to develop. I think most
Yeah,
people
but they don't
aren't able to
reflect
do that.
they don't reflect on their own ability to do that, so they never like get better at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why, like I say, it's a skill and that
yeah,
people need to work
yeah.
on because, like, people when
You have to like start from a logical perspective to then get better at the emotional one. Not that you can't be emotional ever. Like, like if my dad dies, or okay, well, that's a bad example. That doesn't happen to me. But if let's say like someone in my family dies, I'm not gonna be like, well, they were kind of old. It is about their time. They had a good life. It's just it is what it is. That's fucked up because
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
important in my life died.
that's so fucked up. Like,
I mean,
ew.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it is illogical.
I
It
kind
is
of followed.
logical.
I kind
It
of
is
followed that
logical to
first
think
part.
like that. It's logical to think like that. However, like, there needs to be some like, if you're not feeling sad or empty or whatever after like your grandpa dies, then like, what the, okay, kind of fuck off the logical part a little bit. It's okay for you to feel that
You
way.
saw that too.
But just like having control of that, is the important part. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, sorry, you froze for like at least like a second,
Yeah, we
and
had to do like which part.
right after you said something about someone dying, and then you just froze. Like, oh, I was about to say, well, speaking of dying,
Oh, there it
and
is.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad. That's why I'm glad I'm not gay, because I would hate to have men be the only option to fuck. Like, that would make me so sad.
wait, wait, wait.
Imagine like,
Isn't that the same logic if you're like completely straight though, but just like the
no, no,
other way around?
dating women is better than dating men, and I don't mean that like a homophobic sense. I just mean that men are fucking emotionally damaged. That dealing with that shit when trying to date them it just wouldn't be for me.
I don't know. I feel that it's kind of generalizing. I feel like a lot of women are also falling that category too, though. Like I think it's pretty common for
Yeah, but
both
not in the
genders and
same way
sexes.
that, but in a it's a different way than men. But men are worse, because men, from early age, you're taught like, hey, don't show too much emotion.
Oh yeah,
Don't cry if
the
you're
whole
crying. You're a bitch.
societal thing.
And
Yeah.
that manifests in a lot of aggressive
Mm.
and creepy behavior. That's why like you have some guys like, send dick pics like unprompted, because they just cannot, they don't know how to fucking control
Yeah,
their impulses.
yeah. Hearing stories about that is like why
It's
do
like
people think that's a good idea?
it's like how you like hear one of your boys talk about their crazy ex, but then if you ever have like a friend that's a girl, you don't hear about their crazy ex. So usually, you know, bad shit happens.
Wait, what? Say that
Like
again.
like
I
like
just became
it's
lost
like
for a
it's
second.
like how you hear a lot about crazy ex girlfriends, because they're crazy and shit, but then you don't
Mm.
hear a lot about crazy ex boyfriends, because usually they're like serial killers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they usually have,
yeah.
yeah,
Now that you speak, but yeah, I guess
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of true. We don't hear
And
about it
if
as much, but
yeah,
they exist. You know, there's a lot, but
If I
they
were
just
to
don't
only
talk about
date
it.
men, I would hate it, dude, because men suck. Okay, we
They
kind
do
of suck.
suck.
It's-
They'll
They
kind of
also
suck.
blow.
We saw that joke coming a mile away. Just like that come.
Yeah, yeah. I hear that a lot from like bi people who like they go on like Tinder. They have like they have less creepy women when compared to creepy men. Like when it comes to that sort of things, I hear bi people have a better time dating women because it's a little
Hmm.
easier in certain ways than men. Because men can they you know they don't communicate well in some ways.
I don't know. I've also heard like stories like saying the opposite though, like from bi people dating, and that sometimes like dating women is also like more emotionally draining, whereas dating guys is a little bit more simple. You know,
It,
there's
I
like
don't.
there's
I
pros
think
and cons for each, obviously.
yeah, but
Like
like the more extreme examples, I think the men are worse because then they just get
if
like
you're like putting
obsessive.
like you're like an aggregate or something.
Yeah, men are more aggressive on the extremes,
Mm,
whereas women are even are bad. Don't get me wrong, on the extreme, they're still pretty bad to date with, but they're not at least as obsessive. It's in certain ways. Not
mm,
that dating is easy. It's gonna be hard no matter what. Like you working on a relationship with another person that you're trying to make like a thing for the rest of your life, or whatever.
mm.
That's not easy. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Man, human beings just complicated. They just in general they just suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just at the end they just it's just
Yeah,
how it
and
is.
therapy is a good thing, and as a psych major, obviously I think that it's a good thing, but it's not like a magic wand that you go to it and you come out better. It's something you have to like work on yourself at the same time. You have to like be able to like uh act upon to change yourself, rather than just going to a person talk to them, and then think you'll come out better automatically. You have to work on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but anyway, uh,
Anyways,
speaking of women. How about them bitches?
no, I was like, I heard that transition. I'm like, no, don't you say it. Don't say whatever it is you're gonna say.
uh, no, okay. No more misogyny. Paul, have you heard that Bernie Sanders might be running again? And if he's running against a woman, I'm definitely voting for him.
I thought he was too
Yes,
old to
yes,
run.
yes. I heard of it.
Yeah.
The caveat, though, is that he said that he hasn't ruled out ruling or running for
Yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
But that's if Joe Biden doesn't run. Man, we're definitely going like the deep dive of like serious and more political topics today instead of like the usual Nincompoops or the poopy topics today.
I had something in mind, but you guys weren't on early enough for me to get it to happen, so I gotta cancel that. But yeah, Bernie Sanders running again. Uh, he may be 5 million years old, but if he does it, he does it, and that's my boy. If he does.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of, like all the excuses. Remember back in like 2016 when people said like, "Oh, Bernie can't be president; he's too old," and then 2020 happened. They're like, Joe Biden is like not that. Well, isn't he like a couple months younger than Bernie, or is like a year or so?
I know. I always forget. Honestly, I know it's like a year difference at most, but I always
Mm.
forget who's the older one.
Bernie's older. Bernie's
Oh,
definitely older, but he's definitely more.
it's like a year at most. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. And so now it's like we're going into 2024, but we're like, and people are like, you can't have Bernie, he's too old. And then it's like, I mean,
Bro, if he
and
wins,
if they ask like Biden to go again, he's like, Biden is like already older than Bernie was in 2016 at this point.
yeah, Bernie could win and then die on the second day, and I think he'd do a lot more good than fucking what we had from last like forever.
Mm-hmm. Mm, yeah, I mean, as much as I like hearing the news about like maybe Bernie, and if he does run, definitely go 100% support him. but I feel as though it's like it's high hoping. I'm like approaching this very cautiously in that like if you were to ask me like will he really run, I'm probably like I still don't think it's happening. Most likely not, especially if Biden decides to run again, which he most likely will, because the establishment will be like, "Yo, we need someone. We can't have Bernie. We can't have Bernie." Especially with this leak out, they're like,
Yeah,
"No,
you know, if I'm
Biden's
if
definitely
I'm
going
like
again."
80 on my deathbed, if I'm 80 on my deathbed and Bernie's still running, then I'm still gonna vote for my boy if he's like the only good option left. Just it is what it is,
All
and
those memes like
and
Bernie, take my energy were actually real. He's gonna live to like 200 years old. He's a vamp, not a vampire. He's immortal. He's like been in office since like 1867 or something like that.
Conspiracy theory. Every time we give Bernie energy, he does get the energy.
yeah, and then like after he dies, he gets put into an AI and becomes an AI senator. He'll be Bernie Sanders because I being AI. At the end of his, he'll be Bernie Sanders, and
Yeah, burn AI.
he'll still do the same thing. Beep boop. We will get beep boop healthcare. Beep boop for all. Beep
We
boop.
have like robots, but we still don't have Medicare for all. We have like we could like have cyborg bodies, but we're like nah, healthcare that's still too much. That's like no, you gotta pay for all
Yeah,
this shit.
you know, and it'll cover dental, vision, oil changes, battery changes for each person as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, speaking of which, back to the more dystopian thing. If you guys could if
Well,
you
this
guys
was
were to
not
die, would you
dystopian.
uh back if you guys were to die, would you guys upload your consciousness into uh
Like
a
a
cloud
supercomputer.
service? Yeah, like a supercomputer, but the caveat it being that it's owned by Facebook, Amazon, Tesla,
Oh
or
no.
what's another big one? Um, or uh, YouTube or something. It has to be one of those. Did you guys do it?
Just let me die.
I mean, if it weren't for them, I'd probably say yes, just cause like just for for the shits and giggles of it. But I'm like, I don't want them touching my memories and all that. And at the end of the day, I'm still dead. My memories like maybe like up on the cloud or something, but like I'm still dead. I don't think I would really care at the end of the day because I'm dead.
A robot body, you would, but not the cyber afterlife thingy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I would just
Yeah,
like pull the plug on me. Do it.
yeah.
Do it
I think
now.
I just die too because it would get boring really fucking quickly. And you're in the cyber afterlife, and then you're like, oh boy, I get to play that video game or watch that movie I never had the time to do, and then you do it, and you just keep doing with everything that comes out, and eventually you're just like, what now?
Plus,
Mhm.
And
imagine, for
plus,
example,
imagine them like fucking spamming you with ads.
yeah,
Oh no, yeah, that's so true.
they're spamming you with
You're
fucking
like, imagine.
the company ad. Like for example, Meta.
Oh, Meta,
Like
yeah.
if you,
It's still Facebook on my thing. I was like, I hear of Meta, but I'm like, I don't think they're actually changing it to Meta. It's just like,
I still call it Facebook.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, imagine you're like fucking in the metaverse or some shit, in the meta afterlife. You're about to eat a fucking bagel, and then there's like a fucking pause, and you can't move, and you have to like watch an ad in front of your face. It's like, hey, would you like to download Raid of Shadow Legends 2? It's now out in the cyber afterlife. Install it now on your afterlife phone, and you can play for just a low price of and you're just like, bro, I just want to eat this bagel, and then you have to like watch the whole ad. You can't skip it. If you skip it, another ad just pops up. That was that's the part I think I would hate as well. And then like they're like, oh, you want to enjoy this pizza bagel? Well, for that small upgrade, you have to pay five
Yeah.
dollars,
The
and you're like,
Metaverse
I'm dead.
Premium. If you get the Metaverse Premium, you get to eat this pizza bagel.
Yeah. Just pay $5. I don't have $5. I'm dead.
It's
Tell
only
tell your family to pay
99.99
us
a
five
month.
bucks.
Shipping and handling.
Oh no.
Shipping and handling. Sorry.
Oh, your family had a tragedy and they can't pay for your afterlife. We're gonna have to downgrade you, so you only get 2 GB of data every
Oh
month, and then
no.
once you run out, you freeze for the rest
That's
of the month.
that's like some kind of like even more like fucked up version of like back when like the Catholic Church like sold tickets to people to get into heaven and all that. Back in like,
Yeah,
Lutheran days.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That just sounds terrible to me. I guess unless you're like exceptionally wealthy, you don't have to worry about that shit. It's just nah, fuck that. I'd rather just die and have my body and consciousness return to the earth or some shit, you know?
I don't even think like your consciousness would like even like be there. I think pretty much like you're just dead. Like even if they like upload like a copy or something, like you're still dead. It's just
I mean,
it's
unless they
someone it's
transfer it.
someone else. It's like a different like if you like believe in a soul, it's a different soul, or it's like it's just literally just like beeps and boops, numbers and zeros and all
Well,
that.
even if it's you, it still sucks. Like this is show I watched like last year called The Good Place, where its criticism of the afterlife is that even if you live in like a heaven, um,
Mhm.
uh, at some point your brain will just be like, I'm done. I want out because if you're spending the rest of your like internal life with your friends and your family, eventually you get bored of it because you just like it's not like when we hang out in person, we're just like, yep, we can do this forever. At some point, we get sick of each other and we need time off.
Yeah.
But even then,
Yeah,
once you get
yeah.
your own time off, you get bored of that too. So at some point, you're just like, there's nothing that's gonna satisfy me, no matter what new video
Variety
game
is the
comes out,
spice
what new
of
movie comes
life.
out, what TV show comes out, knowing that there's no end to anything. You're just like, well, that's it. Like you can watch all those movies, but eventually there's no movies to watch anymore because you watched them all.
Mm.
All the video games that you wanted to play, that you play them all already. You've hung out with your friend like for the quadrillionth time, and they told you about a story about Paul getting molested. Like you
I
hear that
didn't bring
story
that
like
up.
like
You didn't have to
you
bring
hear the
that
story of
up.
Paul
That
getting
sucks.
molested. You
Ah,
hear it
come
a
on, you
thousand
son of a
times.
bitch.
At some point, you can recite the story word for word because your friends told you that story so many times already. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
just yeah. And I thought it was like one of those, and it was like such a good way of criticizing the whole heaven thing that I was like, yeah, good point. Heaven OD kind of sucks. Okay, like it's kind of chill for a while, but then you get bored of it too.
I mean, what in that same vein, do you reckon like if there is like a hell, you think hell would also be just as boring, or like probably not as boring, but probably get bored after a while, just being like tortured for the rest of eternity and all that. Eventually, like you might like what? There's nothing new here. I'm just like, all right, you're like beating out my organs and like
It
having like
really
cannibals
depends.
eat it alive.
I don't think I would ever be satisfied with like spiders crawling up my ass or like my dick being flattened.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think it's something I'm just like, all right, flatten my dick again, just
You'll
do
just
it,
get used
and
to
just
it.
have your dick be reinflated. You get used to it, but then the pain's always going to be there. It's just but then with the idea of a heaven, you're just like it's the fact that there's no end. I think that's the problem. And then the show that I watched, The Good Place, like its resolution is like, hey, what if there was a way for you to just after heaven, just become non-existent, like because there's an end for you then, because the point of life is that you go through things and that there's an end, so you do the most with what you have, but then in heaven, because there's no end, it's just alters your perception of it, and you just it just does end for you, so you just get tired of it really quickly.
I mean, even like the way like a lot of like Christians describe heaven, it seems like kind of boring and just like you're just up in heaven for the rest of eternity, and all you do is like pray. That's
Yeah.
and it makes me wonder like, well, what do you even like pray about while up there? Just like you're already at the quote unquote promised land. Like what else would you pray for?
The
I
super
don't know.
promised land.
I don't know. Maybe it's like this very American or Western mindset, like the consumerism.
Yeah,
Like I
that's why
want
I don't like.
items.
That's why I don't like the Christian heaven, because it's like, okay, you do good things and you also have to have faith in Christ. That's how you get into heaven. But what if you do good things but you just don't have faith? What if like I help like a million children not die throughout my entire life. I spend my rest of my life doing that. But because I'm an atheist, it means I'm going to hell. That doesn't really sit well with me, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And what if and you know, what if you there's an afterlife, but you can become a better person in the afterlife? You know, what if you're like a piece of shit on earth and then you die and then in the afterlife you're like, you know what? I learned the error of my ways. So why should you still be burnt in hell if you got better as a person, you know? I don't like that. That's why I don't like that whole concept
The guy at
very
the
much.
gates is just like, all right, here's like a video recording of like your entire life and all that. I mean, that would probably like change anyone really, if that were true or if that were real.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, here, we're gonna make you go through this program to become a better person, and then you get to go to heaven, and that'd be kind of cool, but it doesn't work like that, and that's why I think it kind of sucks, you know.
Hmm.
It's not a very well thought out not from like oh this is a good story thing, but as like if we're gonna have a system for the afterlife, this is how we're gonna do it. I don't think the heaven and hell thing is a very good system for that.
Nah, nah. This discussion is reminding me though of that one clip I saw recently on YouTube of like The Simpsons and how there's like both. I think it was like some kind of like a dream that Marge was having. Where there's like
Yeah.
both a Protestant heaven and Catholic heaven, and Protestant heaven is just like a bunch of like uh white rich people just playing golf and all that, and then Catholic heaven is like the Hispanics and the Irish and the Italians and all that, and just like everyone's just like having parties and all that. And Catholic heaven is like, and that's where you want to be. It's just everyone's just like having like parties, fiestas, and good food, and just like the Irish are just like Irish tap dancing and all that. It's great. It's a great clip. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch that again now.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And that's another thing too. I just I because it is treating this way, but I hope one day people don't get tied to their religions as much to where it's like most people don't really have like a religion per se anymore because
Mm.
people because people don't think of it this way because of their biases, but religion the difference between your religion and like the Greek mythology of Zeus and all that is that there's still people who believe what you believe, and there's nothing stopping um I mean, there's nothing stopping it, but like if your religion would fall off one day, there's nothing stopping the Christian mythology from being better or different than the Zeus one, because at the end of the day, they're just stories, you know. And I think a lot of people like a lot of religious people kind of trend that way now, where they're like, I think I heard this somewhere recently, but it's like people are starting to be more like, oh, this part of the Bible that's not what really happened. It's just like it's supposed to teach you a lesson, rather than this being like this is a thing that happened in the past way way long ago. It's more like this is just a story to help you learn the message of the story. It didn't really happen. Like people are starting to do that more nowadays because people are growing more and more like skeptical of the Bible and religion as a whole. I think
Like
younger people,
even the religious people are doing
um,
that.
yeah, yeah, like not all of them, but some factions of the religion are starting to be like that. We're like, oh,
Mm.
God didn't really do this. This is just a story where, like, hey, if you betray God, this is, like bad things are going to happen to you, etc., etc. And yeah, and I think I've seen like younger people are growing more and more agnostic by the day, or as they grow up, where like
Mm.
people our age are way more likely to be an atheist than someone 20 years ago, and then people who are younger than us are going to be more likely to be atheists than people our age. It's a
Maybe
growing thing that's happening.
maybe I don't know if they themselves, even if they don't believe in a god, I don't know if they would use the term atheist. Probably just like in the very least, probably just like, yeah, I'm just like not religious or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah,
even that can mean a lot of things, but that could also just
yeah,
mean they're an atheist as well.
yeah. Indeed,
Um,
indeed.
no,
I think
a lot.
atheism still gets like a negative connotation though. That word.
I don't think so. I think it's only in like religious circles it does, but in places like California where you're more freely able to, at least certain parts of California, you're more freely able to say what you are. People aren't gonna be like, oh fuck, get out of town. You're a
Oh,
heretic, or
definitely not. Definitely not. It's still gonna be like
yeah,
relatively respectful. I mean, I had I think what, month and a half, 2 months ago. I remember I was looking for a pair of work pants for my job, and I think I went to a one of our local malls, and I remember I was walking through the food court because I needed to take a piss real bad, and I was looking for a restroom, and I got stopped by some dude and a group of friends, and they asked like, "Hey, do you want to join our Bible study and all that?" I'm like, sorry, friend, but I'm an atheist. And he was like, "What?
My,
An
my
atheist?"
brother in Christ, I'm an atheist.
Oh yeah, that meme. I'm loving how it's just like he's how like my brother in Christ is pretty much like the black guy saying to, like white people is just the N word equivalent, the NIGGA equivalent, for white people. But yeah, he's like when I told him I was like an atheist. He was like taken aback. He was like surprised. Like, what you mean? You like you gotta believe in something, right? I'm like at least like agnostic, at least at most, or something like that. I'm like, oh, no, I'm definitely an atheist.
You know what? You're right about that. I believe in Zeus and the Greek mythology. And
The only
Thor.
time
I
I
believe
believe
in Rico. I believe in Rico.
we call it the spaghetti god.
Rico the spaghetti god.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a cordial conversation. I eventually left. I'm like, sorry, friend, I'm
Yeah.
not interested. I already been through that path. And I don't want to go back. And I had also like another similar conversation with my coworkers. I think, the 3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago, where I was discussing religion and how like I'm an atheist, and I think their view of atheism is that like, well, I had to preface with like one of my coworkers like didn't even view Christianity at like he's like relatively religious. He's Christian, and he's like,
Yeah.
I don't view Christianity as a religion. I view it as a relationship with God. I'm like, sure, okay,
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
I'm like, sure, whatever. And so when I said like, yeah, I'm an atheist, and he's like, another coworker's like, but you're. And I was like, I said like, I'm an atheist, but I'm not trying to push like atheism on other people. Like, it's like
Yeah.
people want to believe in whatever religion they want to believe in. Good on them. More power to them. I'm just like, I just don't believe in a god or an
That's for
afterlife
me.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them said like, but you can't be an atheist though, because if you're not pushing it on being atheist on other people, then you're not an atheist. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, it's just I just don't believe in afterlife. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I'm like, so yeah, it had a very like similar view, and like, you can't be an atheist. That's crazy. You're at least like agnostic or something or non-religious. I'm like, no,
Are your coworkers
I'm an
older than you?
atheist.
Are they older than you? Like a good amount older than you? Not just like a few years.
What the one that said I was like said like that said like I was probably not atheist was like 2 years older than me, and the one that said that made the initial comment that like, yeah, he's like he's Christian but he doesn't view it as a religion. I think he's like
Yeah.
it's like in his 40s, I think.
Okay, that one makes more sense. But yeah, usually, if you've been in this area for a while, atheism is not a new concept. You know, there's a lot of things online that you can kind of where you can see people being atheists, where they're like, where people describe like, oh, I'm not really religious, I'm an atheist, or I'm an atheist, or I don't really believe in a god, etc., etc. Like, it's really easy to get exposed to that on the internet because a lot of people, are that on the internet.
To be fair, in
and-
defense of like the
oh,
person who
So when people are like, sorry to interrupt, but people are like, oh, an atheist, like how but when they get confused at how one could be that, I think it's usually a sign that they've lived a very sheltered life where they haven't really lived in an environment where people believe that, and Christianity is just the norm.
Yeah, to be fair though, in the one that was like 2 years older than me's defense, they did say that their mom was an atheist, and that whenever religion was brought up or like God was brought up, their mom would just like laugh, like condescendingly. So it's probably just like that's probably why they got that view. Is that it's probably their mom was probably like a militant atheist, so that's probably why they got that view. But I'm like, yeah, no, I just you believe what you want. I just don't believe in an afterlife. So for God,
Yeah. how I view it is just like, people can believe what they want. I'm never going to tell Jeffrey, who is religious himself, like, oh, you're silly for believing this. Like, he believes what he believes. I'm not going to insult him.
I mean, we were both down that path. I was definitely down that path like a couple years ago, where I
Yeah,
legitimately believed a God and Christianity and
yeah.
all
But
that.
it's just that I do think that if people were atheists, I think the world would be a lot better because our actions on Earth would carry a lot more weight. Um,
Hmm.
and we wouldn't be bound by our preconceived principles that sometimes aren't very very good. But I would never tell someone to like stop believing in that. I would
Yeah.
just like try to plant an idea like, hey, maybe what I believe isn't doesn't really make a lot of sense, or maybe it's not the best way. Whatever. Like I do want more people to agree with me. That's why I believe what I believe. But I'm never gonna try to force it on people. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
because a lot of people who are religious, they just what they were raised with. They just what life is just what life is to them. But
Hmm.
if I can get them to believe, maybe it isn't the only way to perceive the world, then cool. If not, then hey, it's whatever. As long as you don't use your religion to then do bad, like for example, ban gay marriage. That's when I'm like, no, fuck your religion. Okay, you're a piece of shit if you try to push that into something that has an actual effect in the world.
Which is wild because like that's where legitimately in this country where not I was about to say slowly, not even like slowly, kind of like quickly like turning back on like the whole gay marriage or gay rights thing too in like several states.
Mm.
And it's wild. It's just like, oh, I can't people just stop being pieces of shit to each other? Why can't we just not be assholes?
Oh yeah, I never read the Bible myself. I'm pretty sure a lot of those people never read the Bible themselves. They
I've
just
read
they
I've read the Bible like a couple times. I've like read the I would like read like a couple chapters each night back when I was religious. It was like the new
mm,
I have like the New Testament. And part of it didn't make sense, but that's also partially because it's like reading Shakespeare. And when you're doing that, you're like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. It's kind of confusing. So unless you're like
yeah
legitimately like trying to decipher what's going on, like most people don't know what's really in there, really, in my
yeah.
opinion.
I've only read two passages myself, and both of them were fucked up. I think it was part of what led me to become an atheist in the first place. It's just like, yeah, this is a story about how God started to, like, make this man's life miserable because he wanted to test his faith, because the devil was like, hey man, this guy would break to me if I were to try to fuck with him. And
Oh,
God's like,
was
yeah,
that Job or was that
it
someone
was
else?
Job. It was Job. Yeah, and then there was like Lot's wife. How God turned Lot's wife to the salt because she dared look back when God said, "Don't look back." I thought that was pretty fucked up, and that was slowly that was kind of the seed that then led me to become an atheist like later on.
I mean,
Um,
apparently, like in the Old Testament, God's kind of a dick, but then like
yeah,
he
yeah,
wanted to rebrand, so we made the New Testament, and he was like, "Ah,
yeah,
I'm new,
yeah.
I'm
So
nice."
yeah, yeah. So that's what I think that was kind of it. I was just like reading that. I was like, but God is good. He's not an asshole. He just wants people to be good. Why is he doing this? It kind of led me to, yeah, again, go down a different
People
route.
people would just say like, "Well, she should have looked back, shouldn't have done it," and
Yeah, it's
I
just
guess
human
Job is like,
instinct. Have you ever told somebody don't
Bro,
look
it's
back?
like seeing a car about to crash. You just can't help but look. It's just part of instinct.
they say like, cool guys don't look at explosions behind them. I'm like, I'm gonna look at the explosion. I'm gonna do it. All
No,
right.
no,
I
no.
want to know.
It's like, hey, don't look back. That's my crush over there. Hey, you're gonna have
Or,
to look.
or even like, hey, don't look. There's a cute girl over there. Or like,
Yeah,
oh, that person's pretty cute. Don't look. It's
Hey,
like,
yo, what her
fuck.
tits out? You look back. Like,
yeah.
don't look. My girlfriend has her tits out. Part of you is like,
Like,
does she?
I
why?
gotta
Like,
know.
I don't know. I need to confirm.
If you didn't want me to do it, don't tell me. Don't tell me about
Yeah.
it. That's fucked up. You tell me explicitly knowing you're gonna tempt me to do it. All right, and you're gonna get mad that I do it anyways. Like, come on, bro.
I don't believe that your girlfriend's tits are out. I'm gonna make sure myself. See, her tits are out. Thank you. Now I know.
Thank
Thank you.
you and
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
just like
bullshit. He played Lot's wife so
Ow.
dirty. Fuck him.
yeah. I mean,
Sort of fuck him.
Yeah, sort of fuck him. I mean, if he were like, if God were like cool, I would like, or cool. If he were like real, I would hope he like he was cool and he was like rational, unlike human beings, and that like
Yeah, if he
it's
was
like,
like, hey, I don't care if you didn't believe in me, if you're an atheist. Hey, you tried doing good, you were good. Hey,
hey, you cool?
come on
Yeah,
in.
you come join the club. You win. You win.
Yeah.
We got some boygas in the club. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then I'm like, all right, that's what's up, you know.
But if he's like, yeah, he's like, if he's like petty enough, to like, no, you're going to hell for eternity and going to be tortured just because you didn't believe that I existed. I'm like, I didn't want to follow you anyways.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, send me
And
to
then
the
you
guy
go to
downstairs.
Satan's like, hey, you know what? We all good, fam. All right, we got some cookies in the back. Oh, you want cookies? That's all good. We got some fried chicken in the back. All right, go have some. You eat it, and you're like, oh shit, this is some spicy ass chicken, but it's hella good. He's like, yeah. Hell gives it a little taste, you know, like that's unique to here. You know,
It's got that
you know,
lemon
like
spice from the Colonel.
it's got a little kick from all the souls that we burned. But you weren't that bad, so you ate. All right.
You only send the really fucked up people there.
Yeah.
All right,
Is
that's
that-
real hell.
Is that Adolf Hitler? Yeah, he's roasted in the back, bro. You want some? No, I'm good. All right. Chill. We got some GameCube going on over there. They're having a Smash tournament. You want in? Nah.
And
All right.
don't worry about the heat. We got some AC blasting down here. It's all cool. It's all cool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
So what?
Yeah.
So you. Yeah. So don't worry. I read your file. It says you didn't believe in him. Hey, I don't believe in him sometimes too, and he made me. I saw him. Okay. I don't even believe in him sometimes.
It just reminds me of that one video.
You're cool as
There's a
fuck.
couple of videos. Yeah, there's a couple of videos on YouTube. You see, like, I ain't that bad. All right, maybe
Yeah.
Satan's kind of cool. All right, he just like misunderstood. Like he kind of like realized God was a dick and like, nah, this is kind of fucked up. It's like how the whole thing is like winners are the winners of wars are the ones that write the textbooks and all that. Maybe the same thing is like this is Satan, this is Lucifer, dude. Fuck this guy. He turned against me. Fuck him. And Lucifer's like, hey, maybe you should like stop being dicks to the humans,
Hey, what do you act like you're better than them? You're just like them. You just want their approval. You know what? Fuck you. You're going down.
And, like
You know-
man dared to speak truth to power, and he was like sent into the underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you
Yeah,
go down that path, you realize like, maybe religion is kind of silly.
Yeah.
Just my take. Just my take. I ain't trying to start no drama amongst the people in the audience.
And like I said, if anyone in the audience has a religion they believe in, hey, like we said, you're free to believe it. We just don't agree with the thought process that got you there and got you to keep believing it. But it's a free country as long as you don't use your religion to hurt others people. That's all I care about.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that's all I really care about too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what I got to what I believe, just a thought process. I went myself, and there's certain things that I believe in. Like for example, I believe that if you do good, it's good. If you do bad, it's bad. That's all there is to it. And if you do a whole lot of good, that's really good. If you do a whole lot of bad, then that's really bad.
Mine is just a simple golden rule: treat others how you yourself would want to be treated. Yeah. I don't like being treated with scorn and disdain, or like treated badly, so I don't do that to others. Right? Try my best not to. Sometimes we're all human. We all make mistakes and emotions happen, but I try my best not
Gets
to
the best of me.
inflict
Yeah,
pain on
I do
others.
bad things all the time too. Like one time, I went to the store and I bought a baguette instead of regular bread because it was more French, and I paid for that.
What does that even mean? I don't understand.
It's cryptic.
Oh, it's bad to do French things.
Ah, of course.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you're telling me French kissing is bad? God damn it, I should have known.
It's all about the Australian kissing.
I don't think what it didn't come from France. Like it wasn't like people from Italy went over to France. They're like, "Hey, yo, what's that kissing you're doing?" Oh, it's just how we kiss in France. Oh, okay. That's the thing we never thought about doing in our country.
Wasn't there like a old Eddie Murphy movie he like legit taught people how to French kiss. Like he like was kissing this one lady, and she was like, "Oh, what is your tongue doing inside my mouth?" He's like, "It's French kissing." And he's like, "Oh."
Honestly, for the longest time, I thought like tongue, like using your tongue was just the default. I was just like, I thought this is what you do. Like, you're telling me people just put their lips together and they just stay like that the whole
You
time
said
and
you
not
were
do
the
anything.
vanilla one.
No,
That's too boring.
There's nothing spicier. There's nothing spicier. There's nothing spicy about French kissing. All you're doing is just adding one more element. The other thing is just boring. It's like fucking. It's like if you're having sex and then you just put it in and you just stand there. You know, I'm just like, that's all there is. Like, use your hips, dog. You know, like that's all it is. There's nothing special about fucking using your tongue or thrusting. It's just, yeah.
I mean, some people like it simple. Some people like it a little bit more erotic.
What do you do? You just put your mouths together. And you're just like.
I mean, you don't like just stay there like stationary. That's fucking creepy. Like you probably like switch positions, back and forth.
A fish.
You think kissing? You legit thought kissing?
If I wasn't using my tongue, I'd be like, "Damn, that episode was really good last night. I'm hoping the next episode can get better." And she's just standing there too, and I'm just not doing anything with my tongue. I'm just like, "Did I leave the?" Nah, I left it. I turned it off. Did I? Nah. Oh shit. Work tomorrow. Fuck, that's gonna suck. You know, like I'm just standing there the whole time, mouth to mouth. I'll just be thinking that. If so, and like I'll just get bored.
Is that what you did with your first kiss, Jim? Just like you just stayed there stationary, just thinking about like your chores and all that. Your homework.
I used my tongue because I just thought it was just the.
Damn, he went straight for it. First kiss. He was like, "I'm going exotic."
Yeah, I was just like,
well, not your
what
like
you do.
He didn't think he was going exotic. He thought he was going default. The girl thought it like.
I don't think. Hot take. I think French kissing should be the default. Okay, we should just call it kissing, and then that fucking regular ass shit, call it like mouth facing or something. Okay, like just like that's not kissing. Okay, like come on. I think you guys don't see it my way because you guys are members of polite society. But you know I'm right. I speak
polite
the truth.
society. We're the ones like talk about like MILFs and all that, and,
Yeah, I know.
and like the henties, the NTR, and the cheating, and he's like, "Nah, I like vanilla."
I just don't have a thing for them like you guys do. They're fine. They're nothing special, but they're fine.
Cheating, he's like, "Nah, that's crazy." Vanilla, that's the way to go. And this man is like, kissing is the default. This is the man is like,
watching that fuck your girlfriend.
No, kissing is too boring. You just stay there.
They're not comparable.
That's so funny.
Using your tongue isn't the same as watching some guy plow your girlfriend, Paul. That's not the same thing.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
You have in the future.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my perception of how kissing is, but I think French kissing is a little bit more spicy.
On his first date, he goes in for the kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they kiss. You know, they might use a little bit of tongue. She pulls back. She's like, "Wow, that was great." And then Paul brings his friend Bobby. He's like, "All right, Bobby."
I'm trying to hook him up. I'm a good friend, wingman. All right, we share. All right, it's not my girlfriend; it's our girlfriend.
Hey!
He's watching Bobby grab his date's hand, goes up to his date's house, and Paul goes up right behind them. You know, Paul pulls out his pants, sits on a chair, and then says, "All right, you two, bed now. Go."
I was like, wait a minute. I thought we were sharing, and I realized, oh wait, I was the one that brought up the NTR and the cheating. All right.
Yeah, and then she asked, "Why did you have me fuck Bobby?" And he's like, "What do you mean? We kissed, right? That's just a thing that we do." Like,
see, this is what happens in the world where it's like Jim's like, "Man, French kissing should be the default." All right, this is how you end up getting NTR'd by your friend Bobby.
You're saying that I'm wrong for thinking French kissing is the default, but I'm wrong for thinking that NTR is.
You are wrong at thinking French kissing is the default. It's literally not the default.
It should be the default. It just has French at the beginning of it. It should be the default. It's just kissing with one extra step. It's just kissing with one
That's
extra
where the
step.
French
It's the same
word
thing.
comes in.
It's
The
the
extra
same
step.
thing. It should be the default. What we consider default is just that. It's just what are
I
you
thought
doing?
you said the French were bad.
Maybe you're grabbing the ass, okay, but no, you gotta do more than that. There's different parts of you. You gotta use them all.
This is so
Am I not
stupid.
wrong, Joram? Okay, I know you're not here right now, but am I not? Am I wrong? I don't. Think
You
so.
are wrong.
What do you mean? Why? Why am I wrong?
It's literally look. I know your argument saying like French kissing should be the default, but
Yes,
it's
it
literally
should.
not.
It should be.
I don't know. I mean, like if that's the default, what extra step after French kissing would there be to be like exotic or like not exotic, erotic is the word I was looking for. The more fancy kissing.
A reach around. I don't fucking know. Like you just.
That's
French
what
kissing. It's just kissing. That's all it is. It's just kissing, but with one extra thing.
There's like only one level though, and then
So
like
so it
where's
should
the
just-
ceiling?
it should-
There's no ceiling. It's just like that's it. There's one level and that's it.
But kissing French kissing in and of itself, it's not sexual. It's just a romantic gesture.
It's kind of sexual. It's kind of spicy.
Well, you're not gonna French kiss a girl and be like, "Hey, yo, I fucked the girl last night." No, it's just like, yeah, I kissed the girl last night.
Yeah, it's simple.
Yeah.
It's like you put your lips on theirs and that's
But
it.
French
It's
kissing-
simple. French kissing is it's much more
It
involved.
should be the default because there's nothing like extra about it. It's just you use tongue. That's it.
I think you're just crazy. I think you're just
I'm
nutty.
just trying to make sense. So Jim has the most
think-
vanilla taste, but French kissing is
French
the
kissing is
default-
like that's like like normal kissing is too boring. It's too Puritan. All right.
It's
He
boring
went-
because you're not doing anything. You're just standing there with your mouth
You're
together.
not just standing there. Oh my god. This is stupid. This is stupid. I want to go eat food. I don't want to be stuck here forever.
all right.
Having this like garbage take. This
We
garbage
can
can't take.
call it.
Oh, I'm sorry about the garbage take of French kissing is just not that much more than just regular kissing. In fact, it should be the regular kissing, and then the regular kissing should just be considered shy kissing. Like
No one's gonna-
I'm
no
too
one's
shy
gonna-
to use my tongue. My tongue is too short. I'm
Get us out of here, Dean. Get.
to use it.
All right, if you like this episode, please like and subscribe at twitch.tv/Nink. Is it Nincompoops?
Ningen's podcast.
The Nincompoops. Yeah, no
The
underscore.
Nincompoops. And we are also on YouTube. This is gonna go on YouTube as well. Same thing. Comment which one is the default kissing. Comment. We need to know. The people need to know as well. All right. Goodbye.
Later.